Right. Good morning, everyone. I'm joining you again this morning to just give you a bit of an update. So, I had a quick chat this morning with our friends who've been helping us assiduously in trying to get to the bottom of, uh, you know, who this vessel really belongs to. So, I'm on this live, and I'll give you some time to join the live, share it in the meanwhile to tell you that our friends at Bellingcat and tankertrackers.com have actually been working tirelessly to hunt down those responsible for the unclaimed vessel that has been wreaking havoc in Tobago. So this morning I was updated on their latest findings. What I'm saying is that I'm most pleased to inform you that they actually have gotten some new leads, right? They've discovered from some of the records that actually there was a change of name from Gulfstream to Sea Marlin, and that was seen from a Google Street View image that they managed to decipher from November 2022. Essentially, they've been making this open source data available to us in Trinidad and Tobago because it helps us to kind of get to the bottom of what's going on. And, it's interesting because most of us, the ordinary citizens, are the ones that are updating you and keeping you abreast of the latest information. And surprisingly, our government has been very reluctant to provide us any information on this particular vessel. And so, while we're putting all this information together, thanks in large part to their assistance, it's been quite a few challenging weeks, right? But the article by Bellingcat today details an investigation, of course, into the oil spill that occurred by a barge that we have come to know as Gulfstream, but later known as Sea Marlin. Utilizing satellite imagery and automatic identification data, Bellingcat actually traced the vessel's journey, including an unscheduled stop in Pozuelos Bay, Venezuela. Of course, this led to the this once it left Pozuelos Bay, it started to leak almost immediately and eventually capsized in Tobago. But the interesting thing that you must note is that Pozuelos Bay, according to the article today, is a site for a major state-owned PDVSA port, right, where they do ship-to-ship oil transfers, right? And of course, from the imagery evidence that they would have discovered by Bellingcat, shows that actually, like I said earlier, the barge actually began leaking quite early on. And of course, by February 6th, so that by February 3rd, the barge was leaking upon its departure, and by February 6th, it had capsized in Tobago. So, what also the analysis from the Google Street View image showed is that, the barge was in terrible maintenance. And of course, this open source data has been critical to kind of keeping us all abreast of what's been happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post the latest article by Bellingcat on the page after this live stream, just to kind of get you to look at the chronology of events, because they've gone, into a lot of detail. And in fact, what I would even implore is that, these guys are doing this selflessly, right? So if you want to also support them as well, in helping us also to get to the bottom of this, I'm going to put a little donation link to the folks at Tanker Trackers and Bellingcat, and you can, donate a little bit to helping us get to the bottom of it. But again, without this open source data being made available to the public, we wouldn't have had half of these answers, right? So again, just to sort of summarize, the evidence that Bellingcat has and Tanker Trackers and so on has collated together what they found is that, upon its stoppage in Venezuela, the vessel stopped at a port of Pozuelos Bay, which is the site for a major port for the state-owned Petróleos de Venezuela, which is known as PDVSA, right? And this is used for ship-to-ship oil transfers, typically, for vessels like the Gulfstream, you would put in quite a HFO, right? The tugboat that we've come to know as Solo Creed was also called Marlin, right? And of course, part of the newly discovered information that they've been able to piece together and gleaned from a Google Street View image is that the Gulfstream was quietly rechristened sometime in around 2018 to its new name, Sea Marlin, right? And notwithstanding that, they've collated all the images and whatever for you to look at. So what I'm going to do is I am going to post the article next, and I would encourage all of you to go and read through this article that was just published today by Bellingcat, thanks to the work of tankertrackers.com and so on. So have a look at it and make sure that these guys are doing selfless service, and then in reality, they're a non-profit organization, and they're just helping us to try to help the authorities in Trinidad and Tobago if they're interested. I think more the citizens are interested in getting to the bottom of this, in finding out who owns that unclaimed vessel.